Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You are here with your GBHL channel host, GBHL James, and
Harry?
teetering on the edge of the title, Harry.
While Jamie's out of the country, GBHL Harry.
While Jamie's out of the country. Hope you're having a good time out there, Mr. Giblin.
I'm sure he is.
And you are back for your second stint at Speak Friendly Question.
That's right.
Did you enjoy leading the show last week?
I did. It was great. Really good.
It's good fun, isn't it? It's great chatting with these guys. We do love you out there, Strategy Battle Gamers. So we are back for Speak Friendly Question. Of course, this is the place where you get to ask all of your Middle-earth Strategy Battle Gaming questions. Any highlights last week?
Ooh, going through Jamie's ridiculous amount of games. Have you seen he's got so many board games, that boy. So many games.
He's a board game hoarder.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see some of them on the channel.
Yes, well I know that a couple of people requested that, so see what we can do there. I think we've done a couple in, you guys have done a couple of games in the past, so maybe we can take that a bit further, see what people suggest.
I think it's a good idea. Get some Let's Tries back in there, because of course from a content point of view, I think as a channel we've been reasonably quiet if it wasn't for you. If it wasn't for you being able to get together with Jamie, I'm sure it's common knowledge out there that Jamie and I haven't really been able to get together lately, and that's why it's never been heard of apart from when I was on my honeymoon. I've not been able to get on Speed Friend and Question just because he's not been able to meet with me, I've not been able to meet with him. I've been busy with my business, and of course he's changed job roles, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, and so a lot of stuff going on with his Dark Souls stuff, hasn't he?
Congratulations to the Dark Souls.
Insane.
Biggest Kickstarter of all time.
Can you believe it?
Not just the gaming.
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that this is definitely down to me doing demos at Salute. My 26 demos are the reason, and I'd just like to say that out there. It's the reason why it's gone so huge. Now, it's a great game. Have you had a go at it yet?
No. Definitely keen to.
So much fun, so much fun, and it definitely replicates the feeling of the game. So I do believe that there are opportunities out there, if you've not backed that game already, to do some late pledges. You may have missed that, but definitely keep an eye out for any friends who have managed to pledge for that game, because when it comes out it's going to be great fun, either to play on your own or with a bunch of mates.
Definitely.
You up for that?
Yeah, as long as it doesn't take over SBG.
No, well I think we've all got so much to look forward to with Middle-earth. I've just recently watched Damien's video from Warhammer Fest.
What a video.
Great video, well done GBHL channel co-host Damien. He did a great job with that video, so if you haven't already gone and looked at that, you get to see some of the wonderful things that we've all got to look forward to later this year. So it's a big fan question, nothing left to do but to get those questions read out, and Harry, technically you're still a special guest, so would you like to read the first one?
Sure, will do. Okay, we're from Mr. Ryan Ratchford, or Acton39. Great video, guys. Question times. What are you most excited about for all the new news from Warhammer Fest? Convenient time to talk about it. From West and what we've gotten. Models, profiles, suggestions, and the big book. Just so much amazing news.
Definitely.
Totally agree, Ryan. The news is fantastic.
It's so exciting!
Too exciting. They're counting the days down already.
I think the thing that I loved the most from what I saw coming back from Warhammer Fest was, of course, we were already aware of the kind of things that we might see, but to actually see those models in front of our eyes and to see a prototype book in front of our eyes and what it's actually going to look like, and therefore you can imagine what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Move your little men across the table. It's going to be amazing.
It is. I mean, it wasn't when was Throne of Skulls? What was that? 2 months ago.
Yep.
And from there we had the Dane. We saw of an image of Dane, didn't we? And to think 2 months down the line they've produced so much, it's amazing. Really, really exciting.
Yep, they're doing an awful lot for us guys, so make sure you keep an eye out, because there's going to be loads more to look forward to. I know that there's a big Forge World event coming up, and there are other things that you've got to look forward to later this year that you should definitely get to, where you get to see some of these awesome things. I think also seeing the Dwarven anti arrow ballista thing, that looks incredible.
It's massive as well. It's huge. Massive.
It's huge. Very exciting. Cool. Very, very exciting. Do you think you're going to pick up one of those armies?
Probably all of it. Yeah, have it. You can't not get all of it. I think you have to get at least a warband of dwarves. You got to get Dane. You have to get the book, of course, and probably a ballista, because it just goes. Oh.
Yeah, comment below. What are you guys looking forward to the most? Because it's all coming thick and fast right now. So thank you very much for your question, Ryan Ratchford, as ever. Next up we've got Tom Turtle. He's put, I'm back to Speak Friend and Question at last. So am I. Back together again. So will you guys be getting an Iron Hills army? Look at it, they're all perfect segues.
Yes, they are.
Will you be getting an Iron Hills army?
Yes. How many times am I going to say that for you?
I'm going to guess what you're going to say. At least a warband and probably Dane.
Yes.
I think you've got to. They look so cool.
They do.
And it sounds like they're going to have some very, very cool little rules which make them quite unique.
For sure.
That shield wall kind of idea.
Yes. Oh god, it's going to change how you formulate armies if you're not using that army. How would you beat it? Because shooting, obviously, with the not going to do much against defense 7/8 anyway. The ballista is going to prevent that even more.
Yeah.
Magic might not necessarily do anything with blasts because you're hitting defense 7/8.
Yeah.
How'd you beat it? Piercing strike lances.
Yeah. Get in there, knock them down. Sons of Ale will do the trick.
Oh yeah, sure.
No, I'm sure they're going to be great fun to play, and it looks like there's already a reasonable amount of depth to that army because you've not just got the rank and file troops, but of course to see that there is that artillery piece, that ballista piece, and also we've got things like the Ram Riders to look forward to. They're going to be cool heroes. I'm going to find it very hard not to pick up at least a small Iron Hills army, and I suggest that you guys get out there and do the same because of course what's our tagline? Support your Hobbit hobby.
For sure.
So to continue with the question, also I was wondering about whether the dwarves will be armed with throwing spears. In terms of SBG continuity, it's a bit off, but if they're trying to go by what they do in the films, it's a possibility, I guess. Remember that scene where they all throw them at the advancing trolls? The spears seem to be a bit chunky, but maybe a unique rule like they work as an 8-inch crossbow representing the punch they pack and heaviness would be cool. If that was the case, then it would seem like they'd be the best troops in the game. Yeah. Definitely some dreaming there. That sounds great. Anyway, loving the content lately. Keep it up, Harry. So yeah, what do you think about that? Throwing spears?
Yeah, this is the thing we've talked quite a while because since they changed the rules where you're moving and shoot with throwing spears, they're not as effective. They've gone out of the game a little bit, haven't they? And I'd like to see them come back. I really would.
I think that if I was lucky enough to be asked and my opinion mattered even just a tiny little bit, which it doesn't, I think that would be one of the changes that I would make to the rules is you can move full and there'd be no penalty.
Especially being a Rohan player. I think even if they got it, I'd like all armies to like throwing weapons from Iron Guard and stuff, but for the Rohan, I think it's one of the things they do. It allows them to skirmish so well, doesn't it?
Well, throwing weapons have definitely gone out of the game because the points that you're paying for it and then the penalties, so you just don't see them. And I think anything that then leaves the game because it's just not worth paying the points for does probably need to be looked at. So I think that will happen. Whether these guys will, whether it happens in the movies or not, I don't think will make a huge part of the decision. They don't look like the models look like you've got a front rank crouching down and rear rank coming behind. I don't think that they're gonna throw nose
unless there's any additional infantry models that come out.
Yeah, I doubt that will happen, and it doesn't always go by what you see in the movies. Of course, you see Riders of Rohan with their throwing spears, charging almost like lances, and of course they don't have lances in the game. So these are some things to think about, but definitely a good contribution, Tom Turtle.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was thinking the points, what do you think the cost of points would be? That would be the thing.
Well, with that's got to be at least 15 points.
Yeah, I think so. Very tooled up model.
At least, no, they sound really good. As they are, how many points do you think they would be? The ability to go up to the defence 8.
Yeah. So I discussed with Jamie. Jamie was saying 13, but I think 14 at least. If you look at Kazagard's 11 and you've got strength 4, fight 4, defence 7 there, but then you've also got ability to shield, ability to support, ability to go up to defence 8, and then possibly if you're with Dane you get fearless. So I think 15, and the way that the points have been done in The Hobbit, I think 14, 15 points.
Oh yeah, I was going to go 13, 14. I think 13, 14 is going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah.
Place your bets below, guys. And Tom's come up with another suggestion here as well.
Yeah, so as we sort of said earlier, let's see some of those board games as Let's Try Tuesday, Jamie. So he has got a few, and I think there are a few comments here about board games. So maybe we could go through them another time and then see which you guys think is the most popular games, and then which ones we maybe try.
I think that would be great. Yeah. I think that'd be absolutely great. I've even got some board games I would love to get out. We've got Space Hulk down there.
I assume you've played that a few times. What a game.
Played it a couple of times. It's great fun, isn't it?
It's amazing fun.
It's really
amazing fun. Because you don't have to necessarily add in your own models. You've got the set there, the different armies, the different scenarios. It's awesome.
And they are. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Warhammer 40k, but the models are really cool.
Yeah.
Really good quality plastic models, and I mean, one of the reasons I might not have brought it out so far, for the channel myself, is I'd want to paint them.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
I agree.
Because they
look cool with that, but yeah.
Yeah.
They would look cool with a bit of dash paint. Maybe you get, I don't know, when you cool painter friends to paint them. Matt Davis, you paint some.
Get some channel sponsorship things going on.
Yeah.
We'll see if anybody wants to paint up some Space Hulk for us.
That would be cool.
So thanks very much for that, Tom Turtle. Next up we got King Bonazai. He's put, I am so excited for the Iron Hills army. During Sun! Well, yeah, I mean, clearly you guys were talking a lot about it last week. This seems to be the episode of the Iron Hills Dwarves.
Very much so.
And a place for you to put your excitement and your speculation. So cheers for that, King Bones. I always appreciate your bit. I'll tell you what I'll do the next one as well. We've got Brad Thy Hipster. Hello. Oh, he's actually got a real question. Oh, I got too excited by his excitement. What army do you most fear and why? During Sun.
Did you see World Champions posted the day on the Great British Hobbit League?
Yeah, it was gathering information.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see that about the different variants. What do you think? What army do you most fear? Why?
Okay, well let's come in. I think that if I was looking at it from a Rohan player point of view, I think the things that I'm scared of are things that can outshoot you and match you in fight value and outnumber you. So can swamp you and stop your charge bonuses from being as important. So armies that I used to be terrified against playing was the Watcher of Kana spam, Haradrim filthness. That used to just be awful for me to play against. Found it very hard to beat.
Yeah, imagine.
Urukai are pretty tough as well, especially as you start going to those higher points values and Saruman starts coming in with his wizardry and sorceress blasting and controlling Grima and messing up your heroes.
Oh, so much so, yeah.
So yeah, I think those are the two armies that I always know that I'm going to be in a tough game against. How about yourself?
Similar to relating to what I use, things, because I tend to play low defence armies, so things that hurl, things that blast. So, bring out some Felbies, the Eagles, Beorn, things that Hobbits struggle to deal with on their own, and they can really wreak damage. It's the heroic combat in Hurl, I think, is a real horrible one, especially in Hobbits, because you can do it, if you do it well, you can kill like 15-20 models in a turn and it changes the game. So I fear that sort of thing. Not something I don't like enjoying playing them, because it's all part of the enjoyment of the game and then trying different things to try and beat them. But I do fear it. So it was Throne of Skulls I played. James with his double dragon, James Brown double dragon, which wasn't the nicest against Hobbits. And Ed with his, even though it wasn't Felbeast, it was Eagles and Beorn. Just very tough to kill and really throw your models across the board.
Yeah, Hurl's massively affected GBHL James' game as well, and the whole armies that he looks at bringing.
Well, that's it, but he loves these Woes Elves, doesn't he? And
yeah. Wood Elves used to be such a big part of the meta.
Very much so.
And Hurl has come in and amongst the brute power attacks and really put them, they're still a good army, but put them on the back step, because you can, like you say, half of them are dying from a Hurl.
Yeah.
That's wounding. That hurts.
So much so, yeah.
That hurts a lot.
So, and you have to really tailor your game if you can to try and avoid the hill, but then that means you're restricting yourself in other ways.
Yeah, of course you are. So a really good question there, King Bonsai, which brings on to Brad Thy Hipster.
Okay, Brad the Hipster. Hello once again. Congratulations on the subscriber milestone.
5,000.
Very cool.
And because I've not been on channel for a while, a little bit of an opportunity for me. So thank you so much for all of your support. I'm sure all the channel hosts have had an opportunity to do it, but really couldn't have imagined, back when I was meeting up with Mr. Giblin in Cheadle's scout hut and stuff like that, trying to put together content and driving up to JT's to film little battle reports and Mystique Crow and all those kind of things. Just couldn't imagine it ever gets to this point. So thanks for all of your support, and let's keep growing this baby. As Middle Earth SBG is going to dominate all of our lives for years and years and years to come.
Do you think we can get to 6,000 subscribers by the new year? I think with the new releases in Articon and stuff like that, there's opportunities to bring people in.
I think that the only way that we could do that is to, I don't know, make you a channel host or something. Maybe. I tell you what, if we get 50 comments to this and 100 likes, boom, the team will make it happen.
I'll take that.
There we go.
Deal. And none of them can be me. We get him set loads of different YouTubers.
GBHL Harry's got a bit of a ring to it, don't you think?
Yeah. GBHL
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm all about just supporting the community, and I love doing this because I love getting involved. I love playing games, talking about them. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings geek. I always have been, and anything I can do to be part of these days. So if that's helping you guys, means more content going, supporting with models, bring it on.
You've always been great on the channel, whether it's been the battle report content you've been in, but even when you were on Hot Gates Gaming for the...
Yeah, we had a great game, didn't we?
Our game at the when I was the ringer.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
Desolation of Stockport.
Yeah,
was incredible. Got this up there.
And I was, because I couldn't come to the Saturday, I was at Wembley, so you were kind enough to go home and get an army to play me on the Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We had a great game, it was good fun, really good fun game.
So much. Now, if that kind of passion and enthusiasm comes across on the camera and encourages other people to play this game, then I think that GBHL host status, it might be just around the corner. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Comment below. So thank you very much for that, Brad Die Hipster. I think he's actually got a question.
Yes. My question for this week is, what is the best way to take down the Goblin King? Thanks, guys.
He's tough with that blueberry mass, but there is one clear way.
Oh, Orcrist. I think helped a lot.
Orcrist does help. If you can get Orcrist in there, then that's absolutely great. But when I play against the Goblin King, I don't know about you, and I don't know about any of you guys out there, but I tend, as much as possible, to try and avoid him. To try not to waste my resources in trying to take him down, because he is so good for his points. He does so much. Yeah. And what I tend to do is try and break the goblins.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good tactic. If they've got Shaman though, it makes it a bit more difficult.
Well, this is what we've been seeing a little bit more lately.
Sadly so, yeah.
So we have been seeing Moria Goblin Shamans being added in there, but then he becomes target priority, and if he's target priority, it's a bit easier to get rid of. But yeah, usually from my point of view, the best way is to try and actually break the goblins. And if you can break the goblins, Goblin King's only courage 2 or 3? 3?
Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Courage 3, and he's got 2
will, but if you got a wizard, that's not going to be there by the end of the game.
Oh, of course it's not. Wizard's a good way as well.
Yeah, because he doesn't get his blubbery mass against blasts.
Oh, not even that. If you can just immobilise him out of the game, just keep immobilising him, immobilise him, and he's not going to be able to do all the wonderful things that he can do. So that's another great way of shutting down the Goblin King.
Yeah, but if you've not got those special things, I think you're totally right. Avoid him, because you can spend all game trying to beat him. Yeah. And you can just keep passing those saves. He's got a fight 6, which is really hard. So you really want to get a fight 7 to beat him, because you don't necessarily want to risk on the draw, because he does Evil Hail, or he will do something horrible to your hero because he can pierce his strike +1 Burley, isn't he? Yeah. He is filthy. He's definitely one of the. We're talking about armies to fear. He's the general I fear the most. Him and the Undying.
He's a very, very, very good general. Very tough to take down. You know you're going to be in a immensely difficult game when he's across the table from you. But there are ways of dealing with him, so hopefully that gives you a few little ideas of doing that. So cheers for that, Brad Die Hipster. We appreciate that. Next up, we've got Josh Dawson. I don't recognise this name. He's put, nice show, guys. I completely forgot to mention it last week, but I thought I'd say well done for all you've achieved so far with the channel, and the future looks bright with all these new releases. Yeah, I think I think the biggest whoop and cheer from all of the channel hosts was the fact that we're going to be able to do unboxings again. Unboxings galore, the content is just going to be absolutely crazy. So although we might have had a little bit of a quieter period, I know that you've stepped in and you've helped Jamie do the World Cup content in Middle-earth's Deadliest Warbands. But in terms of just content on the channel, you guys have got so much to look forward to, and we've got so much to give you. Definitely
so. You do almost a sourcebook review as well with the new book. Quite cool, because your sourcebook reviews are great. I love going through them.
Do you like those?
I really do, yeah. And it's good to know things about different characters and heroes, and learning from people who've experienced using them. I think it's great for when you're trying to write army lists and stuff.
There we go. So he's put, far be it from me to suggest content, but have you ever considered inviting Adam Troke for a Q&A, general chit chat with Jamie channeling his inner Jonathan Ross? You see Jamie doing that?
Oh, damn.
There'd be a lot of outtakes, wouldn't there? Have you seen Steam Force News? Have you not seen the outtakes? No. I think they've got a bit of a thing going on.
Oh, really?
Over there with his outtakes. No, I like that. I like that. Get Jamie in a suit and.
Oh yeah.
He'd love that. I'd find that very interesting and definitely entertaining to watch. In terms of getting Adam Troke onto the channel, maybe it's something that will happen in the future. It's not something that Games Workshop have particularly done in the past.
Yeah, they got to be careful, haven't they? Because I think they would maybe do their own interviewing from their own. So I don't think they mentioned that bit when we had the talk, didn't they?
That was mentioned at Throne of Skulls. In terms of involvement in the community, we're going to be seeing more and more of that, and we're already seeing more of that. You guys have got so much to look forward to. So much to look forward to in terms of community involvement. So make sure you keep on trying to get yourself around to the various Great British Hobbit League tournaments and Ardacon.
Very much so. Is he coming? Mr. Troke?
He is going to be there. Yes.
Exciting.
Well, he might just be playing though.
Oh, cool. Well, either I
think he is playing actually. I think he is playing. I think he is playing. But yeah, I mean, wouldn't miss out the opportunity.
No, surely not. Especially around the releases, maybe around that time. Don't know whether you guys have turned anything in.
160 people have bought tickets so far.
That's amazing, mate. That's got to be a world record in. I don't know in other systems. I don't know what the highest attendance is.
No, there's got to be other systems with the stouts. There's got to be 40k and stuff. But for us to do that as a community is just. I mean, I'm blown away. I'm absolutely, completely scared. I'm so scared. I'm so scared because like anything that goes wrong, will get magnified on such a massive scale. But I hope to be a good host and to make sure that everybody has a wonderful time. And yes, you've all got loads to look forward to. Maybe in the future, maybe we will see Adam coming and doing something like this. But there's no evidence of that in the past, so we'll just have to see.
Can I just say that when we asked the tournament, what questions would you ask Adam Troke? If you had a question for Adam Troke, what would it be? Quite cool. And generate some more discussion around that.
Yeah, that is a good one. If you had a question for Adam Troke, what would it be? Comment below.
What would your question be?
I speak to him reasonably regularly, so I ask him questions all the time. There's loads of questions. One that I could probably talk about, he came around, he was walking around at Throne of Skulls, and of course I was playing with the 3 hunters and I had AMO and the riders from that scene, you know, what news from the mark, and I was playing against an Isengard army and he came over and I did put the question to him, why is AMO, Knight of the Pelennor, described as being one of the only warriors along with Aragorn and what's his face? Prince Imrahil, being unscathed at the Battle of the Pelennor, like fighting with no equal. Why was he only fight 5? And because obviously I don't know if you guys know this, but I love Rohan. I love them. I don't know if you know that, but and his answer, you know, it's an interesting answer. It was, you know, there was no blood of Numenor in that, and of course I know that there's lots of other things that you then could come back with that. But it was interesting to hear that as a sort of way of thinking that there's no blood of Numenor in Aemon, and he's a lesser man in that sense, and that's why he's only fighting 5. So it was interesting. It was interesting to hear that.
I can understand. I suppose that's fair enough. It'd be cool if he got like a free heroic strike per turn.
Same as a Corsair Reaver though. Same as a Pirate. Yeah. That's my argument. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Same as an Uruk Captain.
Yeah.
An Uruk Captain. Aemon. What? There you go. That was my counter argument. What?
Oh, you should be able to D3 heroic strike. That'd be cool. Because even though he's base 5, so he's not got the blood of Numenor, but his combat abilities allow him to maybe go up D3 fight value.
Interesting. What do you guys think? So you also put, I find it very interesting, definitely entertaining to watch. That's Q&A chit chat with Adam Trope. My question this week is: if you make 3 changes to the existing rules, what would they be? Within reason, of course. I don't think they'll ever remove the bow limit on wood elves. I don't think we'd want that because I think before some of the Hobbit rules, you did get a lot of that move, shoot, shoot, a lot more than you do now. Yeah. It still exists, but a lot more. I think we mentioned one already, haven't we?
Yeah, what about the throwing spears and throwing weapons? Yeah, I agree with that one.
Throwing weapons would definitely be one that I'd change. Special strikes? I'd have a little bit of a medal with them.
Yeah, I think they were great to come in, but I think the first time and they sort of, in a way, they've been trialled and seen some are more effective than others, some are used more. I agree. I think maybe they looked at a little bit.
Yeah, give them a little bit of a look at. So we all know the piercing strike, considering it's free. I mean, maybe special strikes you can only use what comes on the model originally. I think that would be quite
tailoring your models, Jamie Given, unnamed.
Yeah, I think if there was a sort of just a rule in, I think that would cover a lot of things where people convert just to add stuff on like axes.
Yeah.
But maybe if it was, you know, if you won, you got +1 strength.
Yes,
if you lost, you got D3. You lost D3 defense, so that they got more of a risk in that.
Yeah, very much so.
Fainting, you've got to be equal or higher fight value in order to be able to faint.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
That'd take away just giving re-rolls to 1 to anything that's rubbish, because that's what that does.
It is, yeah. I think one about movement, like I know you like Ents and I've got a few Ents myself. Movement 8 Ents, please, would just be great, wouldn't it? Because and the end profile works fine. I think they can hurl and they get monster attacks, but they're just too slow. I just don't think they can get about for the size of the model. They should have 8-inch movement. Maybe.
Yeah, do the same with things like the Balrog. I think that would help.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Help them out. So there's a couple of little ideas. Yeah, I think throwing weapons is a big one. I think the special strikes are a big one as well.
Yes, I think so.
A big one.
Just tweaking and trying little things to see if it, because special strikes now have can give example first animal hobbits, like just loads of their swords and axes, just makes hobbits so powerful. Getting strength 6 hobbits, a 4-point model, or 4-point model is ridiculous. And it does change the game a little bit because it makes them a bit filthy. Knowing a hobbit can take down, you can get hobbits to strength 6 and take down an ent on 5s, which is dirty for a 4-point model.
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe +1 strength.
I think +1 strength, but then you still got the risk of going down by D3. That whole idea that I've swung and I've missed.
Yes.
I think I do like that idea. I think that would sort that. I think you'd probably look at bash as well. I think stun's pretty good. I think stun's.
Oh yeah, I like stun.
Stun works. You don't see it abused. It seems to match up with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I mean, you don't see a lot of it, but it seems.
It's a cool rule.
It's a cool little rule.
Used, yeah.
Cool little rule. So yeah, maybe just have a look at some of those. I think there'll be some of the key ones to look at. But thank you very much for that question, Josh Dawson, which brings us back to Tom.
Wow. Oh, he's keen.
He's back.
With your awesome green screen, do you think it might be a good time to update the channel intro video, especially since Tom and Damon have come on board since the last one?
It's been a quest of Mr. Giblin for some time because he hates our previous channel intro.
Did you? I've seen it.
I loved it. It was so much fun. We hung up a green grass battle mat downstairs in my cellar down there.
Yeah.
But of course, it's not just flat green like this. It's got speckles in it, so my hair and parts of my face disappear. And it's got a shadow. It's got a shadow and flame Gandalf with ice sort of coming behind it.
Right.
It was great fun to film, and it really is a throwback. If you watch those old intro videos, not just that one, but the one that we did before that, that really is sort of during the birth of the GBHL podcast. In terms of filming a new one, it's been done. It is actually on my memory card there, and it requires much filling about because, you know, as hosts we're incredibly unprofessional and there was much messing around and getting lots of things wrong. So yeah, just like the Nova announcement video, I'm going to have to fiddle around with it quite a lot in order to make it something which can actually go up. But we have done that, and we've also got a new channel banner. Which again I've been working on using my green screen. Jamie's got a green screen now. When I seen using the mines, I was like, how did you get into my house?
Yeah, you can see it fall down on us the other day. We did Speak Friendly Question, the corner fell down and hit on Jamie's shoulder, so he went invisible for a minute. It was insane.
Don't jinx
Don't
it,
jinx
because
it.
what you guys don't realise is that like, there's no poles holding this up. It's literally just, this has got some duct tape against the wall. And I can only get away with that because I know I need to repaint this wall at some point. But yeah, if it does come down at any point, that's the height of our professionalism at the moment. We've come a long way though, we've come a long way.
Oh, I think it looks great, it really, really does. And your video the other day, your Dimmerall Dale video on...
How did you enjoy that?
Oh, mate, back off, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But yeah, your screen background was awesome. I thought it really, really cool.
Thank you very, very, very much. Yeah, it's tough, and I would like to bear, if you do go and check out any of those Hotcakes Gaming battle reports, you know, it's definitely a learning process. Each video I'm trying a different technique to try and bring forwards. So I do understand that the Dimmerall Dale one, having backgrounds, you do need to make sure that you have got your camera on a tripod. You can't film a shot where you're moving because it just makes it look like there's an earthquake.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it really, really does. But this is part of the learning. If you go and check out the one that I've released today, which is Thursday today,
with Ian Marley,
Alan Hen, then you'll see that I've learnt from that.
I can't wait for a year's time, mate, because you've come such a long way with that. In a year's time, your video's going to be immense.
I appreciate that, man.
Really good. Really
I
good.
appreciate that, and that's down to the guys who are backing us on Patreon. So if you do want to back, you know, I've probably been dreaming a little bit. It isn't enough to pay for me to have a day off with where my business is at the moment, which is a shame. But I am trying my best. But it is you guys who've made that happen. So if you do want to continue to see that going up, even if it's just $1 a month, just to you know, be behind the project, then do check out Hotcakes Gaming Patreon below. I do appreciate it. Thanks, guys. So thank you very much for that. Next up, we've got Nathan Dodson. And it's you.
Was it me? I think Tom Turtle.
Did you? Well, okay, I'll do it then.
This is the open.
Oh, no, I think you should read it out. I think you should. Hey guys, 2 questions.
Do you want each?
Do you want me to do the first one?
It's up to you.
When will Harry become GBHL Harry? Well,
no, quite uncomfortable.
No, you should definitely not. You've been helping out the channel massively by getting together with Jamie, making me feel completely redundant. Well, obviously it's been easy for you guys to meet up, which is great, and if that means that there's content going onto the channel for you guys to watch, then absolutely brilliant. And I think if you're appearing as regularly as you are, then it's only a matter of time. You've got a passion for the hobby, you appear great on camera, We love you to pieces. I do. I've loved it. Not just what we filmed together, but also the games that we've had as well. So I would be honoured if we did, as a team, come to that decision at some point. Only a matter of time, I think, guys.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.
Is there an initiation process? Do I need to do a hobby vlog, or have I got a...
No, you don't do it. Well, how did Tom become
Yeah. Get silly, we're doing the rankings.
I know, that's not nothing to do with the channel.
True.
Nothing to do with the channel. No, it's not a hobby vlog, but there is an initiation.
Bring it on.
Beware. I'll film it.
Get
film
battle rep, that's it, yeah.
I get buff battle rep, not versus your hobbits with a new lots of battle rolls. No way.
No dear.
I don't fancy that one.
Definitely have to spend a month in your gym first to do it.
Okay. So he's got 2 questions here.
Yeah. Rules say that only one model can make way for another model who loses a fight. Correct. Would this mean that the model would be trapped if you had 2 pikes backing it up? Yeah, this is the sort of the dilemma with pikes. Unless you do it where you move sideways, that's the thing I've worked around it.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Have you got pike block? Well, it depends who's got priority, doesn't it?
Very much so.
If you go in with your pike block, if you've got priority, then of course you need to make sure that you do the combats that are on the outside and start moving sideways, so you've always got somewhere to go.
Does mess up your lines a bit, doesn't it? But
it hugely messes. You've got this weird shuffle across the middle, which is interesting, but that's the way to do it. But if you don't, then your opponent is going to be able to very easily trap some of your but as reflects pike warfare. In that situation.
Yeah, that's true. So on the flip side, so if you're the person against the pikes, pick those combats in the middle, pick the alternating ones where they're going to be trapped and they can't move models unless they wish to sacrifice pikes by moving them back. Yeah, even now I don't even think you can do it. I know. Yeah, so pick your fights carefully and trap as many models as you can.
Definitely, that's a good way of taking on a pike bomb, definitely. So thank you very much for that, Nathan Dodson. Which brings us on to Wah!
Oh yeah, okay. Great show, fellows, and love those backdrops. Hypothetical question. The Middle-earth strategy battle... Yeah, G?
Middle-earth strategy battle
game, that classic...
Yeah, we're going to make your host, got to get back to that.
So we invite you to HQ. Fellows, great news, you can pick a new faction for us to work on next, but in order to make way, we must lose an existing army line. Ooh, which line do you axe?
And why?
Yeah, why? Ooh.
You've got to axe the one that's got the least amount of options, I think, personally.
Yeah, and the ones that are...
Because there'd be a bit of me, like I'm personally not a huge fan of like the Easterling aesthetic, and I would probably get rid of Easterlings because I don't really like them. But I understand that they're in the fluff, and if they had a different aesthetic, I'm just not a huge fan. But I know there are a lot of people out there that are. Yeah. But in terms of something which wouldn't remove so many options for players, I guess Numenor's probably got the most limited. It's probably got the most limited army list, so maybe that one. Maybe you'd kind of go, well, you could probably sacrifice that. It'd be a shame, because that's probably one of the ones that you'd want to be expanded.
Oh yeah, it would be.
I'd love to see an expanded Numenor, but I'd probably sacrifice that one.
Well, I think it reflects on what you see at tournaments and what armies people have. You don't see many people. I think there's 1 or 2 Numenor players and have full 500, 600 point Numenor armies. You don't see them as much, so that suggests that they're almost not being continued and they're on the way out. But they're there if people really want to use them.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then there's a follow-up question and follow-up happy questions to remove the taint of the last post. What models from the current range would you like that have not been done? For example, Forlong the Fat on Horse. Yeah, I've said this before. Thorin's Company on Ponies, etc.
They're both good suggestions.
Yes, they are, very much so.
What would you like that's not been made but is a profile?
Oh, it was when I remember when Legions of Middle-earth came out and they put in there loads and loads of stuff that they had planned to do over the years to come out. So I think they did the werewolves, there was elven chariots, there was Celebrimbor, there was even the half trees, what were they, the Huarons or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Those things would be great, yeah. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, what else do you think?
I think that I would like to see, well, obviously, I'd like to see some Sons of Ale on foot.
Great show.
Official ones, because, well, obvious reasons, everybody. Obvious reasons. I would also like to see, there's a few things I'd like to see an armoured Glorfindel mounted.
Yes, great show.
Really cool.
Yeah, definitely so.
And even hiking, even Gilgalad mounted.
Yes, I've seen a few conversions of Riverdale Knights now, which is cool, but having an official model would be awesome.
An official model, and those are models that scream to me that they would be awesome. That Games Workshop would do a great job with them, especially as the sculpted team at the moment. Great work, fellas. Great work.
Yeah.
I think that they would be absolutely outstanding. I think they'd be outstanding. Other ones, Mounted Halbrand, Mounted Rangers, Mounted Dunedain.
Yeah, definitely so.
They'd be cool. God, there's loads, isn't there? There's loads. They're all pouring in. Too much information. I think that if we even got to see half of those kind of profiles, the ones that never were released, if we even got to see half of those, I think we would be blessed.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's all keep our fingers and toes crossed, and for you Germans out there, your thumbs pressed.
Is that really a thing?
That's what they do, yeah. Thumbs pressed.
Very cool.
Thumbs pressed. So cheers for that one. Next up, we've got Mark Furness. Hey, what happened to Mark F99821?
Does he have 2 accounts?
Yeah, 2 accounts.
Sneaky.
What are you doing that for, pal? Are you cheating on us? Are you cheating on us with another YouTube channel? I hope not. There's a lot of them out there now.
Yeah.
Hey guys, carrying on from your discussion about board games last week, have you ever played the board game Seven Wonders? It's probably more of a card game than a board game, but it's incredibly fun and easy to set up and play. Happy strategy about gaming. Seven Wonders?
No, I've not heard of it.
Not heard of it either. Sorry about that, Mark.
Yeah, Jamie will know, I'm sure.
Jamie will. Jamie's got a room full of board games. Have I told you about that time when I turned up to his house to film Speak the Question, and we had like about an hour spare, and he pulled out the Lord of the Rings board game where you play against the board. Have you played that one?
Oh no.
Oh, Harry!
It's awesome. Any Lord of the Rings.
Mr. Gibbling,
yes, please.
what's going on?
Yeah, I have to question him.
Don't let him start just use you for film and not play that game.
Yeah.
You'd love it. It's so much fun. You play against the board, and Sauron, Mordor, and darkness moves towards you, and that can then move back, and you move. You're trying to stay away from it. And it's a really cool game.
Oh, cool.
And as we came to the end of that game, which we beat the board, which apparently is near impossible. So
awesome.
Great teamwork by Jamie and myself. Loads of people started streaming through for his board game night. Like loads.
Yeah.
Loads. All girls. All girls.
Well, that's the key.
About 20 girls start walking in. I'm like, oh, Jamie, can I stay for this boy? He's like, no, I'm not fully booked, mate. I'm like, I bet you are.
Yeah.
I bet you are, pal. I bet you are.
Sly dog, Jamie.
He's like the board game pimp. I love it.
I think he'll take that title, yeah.
He's there, he's got a Cadillac, but it's got like snakes and ladders on the side and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Dice coming down. He's actually got like furry dice and everything.
The GBHL symbol on it.
GBHL symbol on the front instead of like your little, like they've got a Mercedes.
Oh, yeah.
A little Jaguar. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Sorry about that, Mark, we've not played that game. So next up we've got Wildman RP.
Yeah, thanks for answering my question about Gondor. Good to know I can relax a bit in doubles and focus more on the theme or fun, for sure. Here's my question this week. What are some tips and tricks for playing bat swarms in a Moria list? I just ordered 2 to try out in my Nova list. Should we just pause there for a second? Bat swarms are very, very useful when you've got a low fight value army, because they come in half it, don't they? And they've got the 12-inch movement and 4 wings.
Yeah. They're really, really, really good against, 5 heroes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just really good.
Yeah.
Great at countering enemy heroes for striking. Obviously, heroes are going to be quite good against, a Moria army on the whole, because they can just chop through the troops and the like. So they're very good at anti that. Got to be careful of shooting. Go strength 3 shooting, elven shooting.
Yeah, it's very true.
Got to be careful of that. They're quite vulnerable to that, but
it's the flying. It's a 12-inch flying. Like if you're really going, if you're trying to focus on objectives and stuff, you need to get, say, domination. 12-inch movement, flying over troops is massive. To contest an objective or just to take one on your own.
Yeah. Well, like you say, but just being able to fly over a battle line as well, so you can keep them out of the way. You can keep them well out of the way of your battle line. When everything clashes, you want them in a position where they can jump on a hero
straight away
to come in, trap them against a bunch of other things, lower that fight value, and hopefully alpha strike that hero. They're great at that.
Yeah. It was before Heroic Strikes. It used to be Spider Queen and Bat Swarm, the ultimate kill team. Ultimate kill team. I think, and when the Bat Swarms very first came out, there were 20 points, which is ridiculous. I know the 35 now, which I think is about the right point. 20 points was stupid because you get almost 2 for the same price as one. So cool.
Very, very, very strong. Very, very, very strong. And he's also asked, what's the Duke of Edinburgh?
Yeah.
Can you do Duke of Edinburgh?
No, Jamie's has been doing his bronze since he was 16.
Is he still doing it?
He's got until he's 25. He's got 3 months. Have you done it?
No, I didn't do it. No, Johnny Army instead.
Yeah.
It was dead funny. I run an outdoor fitness company, and we were doing summer games. And one of the challenges was to do like a team combat fitness test. The combat fitness test is basically a distance, so you've got a speed march with a certain amount of weight on.
Wow, yeah.
And this dead fit guy who does trail runs and things all of the time, you know, he turned up and he put in the maximum amount of weight, and he's only quite a slight guy. And I went, look, I said, I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think, like carrying that kind of weight around. And he turned around to me and looked me in the eye, absolutely dead serious, and went, I'll be okay, I've done the Duke of Edinburgh. I was like, what the hell?
How did he get on?
He massively flagged and had to start giving bits of his weight to the rest of his team, as I predicted, which was dead unfair on them. You know, but yeah, so that's Duke of Edinburgh.
I think someone's explained that, because me and Jamie weren't 100% sure on what the stages were. I definitely didn't know. So there is an award with 3 stages, bronze, silver and gold. You have to do volunteering, a physical activity, a skill, and an exhibition for your skill. This is the thing, so someone wanted to know if they could give a model that they painted as their skill.
Oh, okay.
So we said, maybe ask your scout leader or your leader, whoever that is, and then...
Yeah, probably a good idea. Good luck with that, though. Next up we've got Scott Johnson, who's put, hi guys, apologies. I haven't been keeping up with my loop obligations, but I have a question this week. Well, neither have I really, and that's the ultimate sin, you know. Considering sort of how few of these that I've missed quite a few recently, so I do apologise. But if I wanted to go back and play some old scenarios, but I've only played the Hobbit era rules, what are the major adjustments I would need to make the rules in order to fit the time that the scenarios were written? I am thinking primarily the 3 Lord of the Rings journey books. Thanks. Well, this is pretty relevant.
Yeah, Jamie did you do it as well, the Fellowship?
I didn't play, no, the other guys did that together.
So obviously they're formulated from the old rules, so I'd just take out the rules that have changed. So I'd take out the special strikes, take out heroic striking, and heroic accuracy, and heroic marching.
Yeah, I think that one of the ones that breaks a lot of the old scenarios in particular is the heroic marching, because a lot of them are to do with getting from somewhere on the board to somewhere else, and if you've got Aragorn in there and the Fellowship, which you normally do, of course you can just get them across.
Very much so.
So that massively breaks the game. Another one as well, you know, move and shoot penalty. I'm not sure whether that'll affect the scenarios so much, like playing that as the Hobbit rules, but that's another one that we tend to remove. Certainly one that we removed for the Amon Hen over on Hotcakes game.
Oh, did you? Right.
Yep, so we kept it so that you can move half but you still get your full shoot value, because that's what were in the old rules really. But the main ones are your heroic marching, heroic striking, special strikes. Yeah, those are your main ones. So thank you very much for that, Scott Johnson. Who we got up next?
Okay, we've got Callum D. Hey guys, haven't kept up to my loop obligation. Oh no, is that the one you've just read? Oh no, just very similar comments to the last one. Hey guys, I haven't kept up to my loop obligations recently, apologies. You guys, stay in this loop. Keep it coming, keep it coming.
It's important.
It is. I like to include a certain level of extra realism on my models in the form of mud, dust, blood, etc. Awesome. In your opinions, do you like doing this, or do you prefer a clean look for your minis?
Oh, great question.
It is.
It's a really good question, because there's a certain point when you're painting a miniature, when you've got it to a certain, you've done your base colours, you've shaded it, you've done your highlights, you've highlighted up to a point, and you look at it and you're dead happy with it, and then you have to make the decision, and it's a tough decision. You've got to make that really tough decision. Am I going to weather this model? Am I going to potentially ruin all those wonderful highlights I've done to put mud on the bottom of the clothes, to splatter blood on that perfectly highlighted sword? And it is a tough one. It is a tough one. What do you do?
I did it when I think it was the very, very start at the beginning. I'd like put blood on my sword. I was like 10 years old. I don't ever gone back to it. Certain, maybe more for Evo models, I like to show a bit of wear and tear. But I think I wouldn't do it, I think, unless I was confident. I think I knew that it looked good. So probably to that, I probably don't. I do more work on the bases now. I've started doing a lot of custom bases. It does. What about in your models?
Probably similar to yourself. It's incredibly tough. I mean, I think that what I would have to do is have a bit of a practice on models that I didn't care about first. So, yeah. But I haven't risked so far putting things like, I mean, I have done a bit of blood splatter on some of my butchers for the Guild Ball miniatures, I suppose, so I have done a little bit of that. But in terms of weathering, like doing the mud and dust, I just think you've got to be pretty confident with doing it, especially when, you know, a cloak is such a a big, important, very therapeutic and satisfying part of the
Couldn't
model
agree
to paint.
Couldn't agree more.
So when you've painted that to a level that you're really, really happy with,
Yeah.
to then risk the bottom. But I have to tell you, I mean, again, referring back to the Amon Hen that we've just done for the breaking of the fellowship models that Ian Marley brought across. I mean, that's one of the nicest fellowships I've ever seen painted. He's done such a great job on those, and he's done the weathering, and it's spot on.
Yeah.
So I think if you were confident to do it to that level, which takes practice, I think that yes, I think it looks great. I'm just probably not there yet.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things I don't want to. I've spent so long on this model. I don't want to risk. It's the risk, but I don't want to risk. You know, because I might do it and it might look alright, but I'd rather not risk the models was spent like all week painting or whatever.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. I have the same issue. I don't know if you say I have the same issue with the idea of varnishing. So I've got some varnish.
Yes.
To stop models from chipping.
Yeah.
But I am petrified of trying this for the first time on a model that, you know, if you're going to varnish a model, it's because you love the paint job on it. And I bought that varnish for my 300s when I did those. And have I varnished them yet? No, because I'm terrified of doing it and it ruining the hours and hours and hours of work I put into it. So I guess I probably just need someone who's a bit of an expert. If anybody wants to volunteer to come down and actually just do it in front of me, just so that I wasn't scared of ruining all that hard work.
Yeah, that's it. Because I did it a few probably 10 years ago, varnished a load of models, and they just looked dead shiny. Like I remember varnishing a horse, thinking I don't want it to chip. I just thought, why is Avon on a shiny horse?
Oh
and
no!
I just felt it looked ruined. So I think from that I've been put off.
Yeah.
But then I hate models chipping. It's the worst thing. It's like no, all that detail. Because if it's a highlighted part when you've it's chipped, you've got to go through your layers again. It never looks the same, patching out.
Of course it does. Yeah. Tips of noses and bits of hair and edges of clothes.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's the downfall of, you know, I do like metal models, but it's the downfall of metal model. Yeah. And I guess one of the things we've got to look forward to with all of the Forge World resin is that then becomes less of a problem when you're using that. So thank you very much for that great question, Callum D. Really, really good contribution. Which means that next up we've got Sam and the White. He has put correct on all accounts. Not sure what he's referring to there. Must have asked some questions.
He asked questions about fantasy.
Okay.
Four gods in fantasy. How did elves come about? Stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Jamie got them all right.
You got them all right?
Yeah. Well, technically, apart from this one, how were orcs made?
Not from plant spores, but close. They're made of fungus.
I still go for plantish, fungi, plant stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
Give
him that. Give him a point. Is there a specific faction in SBG that you would like to be expanded with the new models? Good question. It's quite similar to one that the one that we did earlier about what would you get rid of, and we covered Numenor. Numenor was definitely one that probably could do with some expansion.
Yeah. Oh no, I think because you don't even see the Malbeth set's gone for a while, but you've only got your basic troop.
Yeah.
And I love that model, and I love the profile. But maybe a few more, maybe variants around that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe give them some form of cavalry. Oh yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool. Some Raudur riders or something, I don't know.
Be cool.
That'd be really cool. Cardalan round shields, that sounds cool, doesn't it? There we go. Knights of Anuminas.
Oh dear.
I'm all over this.
Yeah,
I think that's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. I think Numenor. I think the old high elf list, the old Rivendell list, could probably do with some more troop options.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, merging the two would be grand. So you've got Rivendell Knights, and you can get your twins to lead them.
Yeah, and then you can mount Gilgalad, like we said earlier, and stuff like that. Yeah. If you could.
That would be wonderful.
Ages and stuff, yeah.
So maybe some more troops for those guys. I think those are pretty common ones that you'd like to see.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think Mordor and Gondor are all pretty well expanded. And Rohan's got quite a few options, maybe a couple more, but yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Saruman the White. Oh, look who it is.
Hello there. This is GBHL Damien. Great video, guys. It's cool seeing Harry back. Thank you, sir. That guy really knows his stuff. Well, thank you.
Certainly more than me.
Seeing as we're future casting 2 weeks ahead, how did Double Dragon fare at 7 Stones? Top work, guys. Keep it up, Damien. Well, it's to go ahead. When is this coming out?
This will be coming out on Sunday.
Oh, so when the day of 7 Stones. How do you think Jamie's... Have you heard about he comes back at 6 in the morning? He flies into Heathrow at 6 in the morning and gets across London to 7 Stones to then play with James at Double Dragon.
It's a commitment. To be fair, if you're going to play with anything...
Well, that's what I said, yeah. At least you got 2 dragons.
Double Dragon, you're not going to be thinking too much about what you're doing. You are just going to be having a lot of fun.
How do you... After you won last year, didn't you?
Well, I don't like to mention this, but yeah. just turned up and won it, like, you know what I mean? Casually.
You and Jay.
Yeah.
Not Jay carrying you or you carrying Jay.
Probably a bit of both, to be honest. But we had great fun. It's a fantastic tournament. If you're not able to make it this year, I know that they've had quite a few people dropping out, which is a bit of a shame. Do try and make it next year, because it's great fun. There's some cool prizes, and it's a really different kind of format, which, you know, inspired me for a lot of the things that we did at, that I did at Redestination of Stockport, in terms of that idea of trying to get into groups and stuff.
Groups work well, didn't they?
Very, very cool, and the way that it encourages fluffy play, which has always got to be great. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Damien O'Byrne. Next up, we've got Dom BR. With the news, that was close. With the news from Warhammer Fest, it looks like we're getting Hobbit ring wraiths. Hooray! That is cool. Do you think they'll have new profiles or replace the old Lord of the Rings named wraith models? Also a question about the rules. If an archer is in base contact with a spearman, who is then in base contact with the swordsman, does the swordsman count as in the way? Well, let's start off with the new ring wraiths. Do you think that they'll have new profiles, or do you think they'll just replace the named wraiths?
I think, other than the new name race with some of the special rules, I think from the Magic point of view, I think they work fine. I'd really love to see combat wraiths, like they are in the films.
I actually think, I think that they'll be a little bit more like Castellans of Dol Guldur, with, you know, maybe a couple of spells but not many, that kind of idea.
Yeah, different weapons, stuff like that, yeah.
Different weapons, a couple of little, maybe some special rules. But
yeah. Just make them that little bit different, but then not to make them, because I think when they did the original named ring wraiths, it changed the game quite a lot, from Undying coming out of Shadowlord, stuff like that. So I think they'll be very aware of that when they write these rules.
Yeah, I think that these will definitely come out with scenario play in mind specifically, but also to bring something a bit different rather than replacing something from a bygone age, which is obviously now dominates a lot of the meta.
Very much so.
These named ring wraiths on Valbeasts around.
Do you think they'd do it maybe in a special way that they couldn't lead troops, but you had to have a warband maybe with ring wraiths or something like that?
I think that I think that they're probably going to be independent here. Or something.
Okay.
Again, I don't know anything, so but I think maybe something like Castellan of Dol Guldur.
And they've got cool profiles.
And they've got cool profiles, really, really good fun and different, which is nice. And the second part was, if there's an archer in base contact with a spearman, who's then in base contact with a swordsman, does the swordsman's count as in the way? Well, you've got to get down. You've got to look, because it's true line of sight. If you're talking about
who's in base contact with a spearman, who's in base contact with a sword.
Yeah,
it's like this dance on line of sight.
Yeah, so if you're talking about those guys in a straight line and then and they're shooting at something through and you've got to shoot through the swordsman, then yes, that swordsman is in the way, because you can look over the shoulder of the person you're in base contact with initially, but not then the person in front of that. I'm guessing you mean if you're firing through. So yes, they would count as being in the way, and if you're a good model, you won't be able to shoot at all. So thanks for that, Dom BR. That brings us on to
Adien. Hi guys, thanks for answering my question last time. I'm currently going through the older episodes one by one, and oh my, I just figured out that you, Jamie, don't like long comments. Oops, sorry about the last.
Well, he's not here. You could have asked as long as you wanted. He's not even here. He's not even here this week. What's going on?
I know it's something though. So when you go through the beards, like Jamie's hair fluctuates. Look, seeing you without a beard now is weird.
I know, what happened to my face? I've got quite a long, big head with big ears and a big nose. But then when you look at me without a beard now, I look like I've got a really short face, and I don't. But it's because everyone's used to this now.
It is, yeah.
This is my Rohan beard.
It's it forever now. You not get rid of it.
Jane hates it. She absolutely hates it.
So, second office.
Yep.
So next one, how do you transport your figures when flying? Hand luggage or basic luggage? And can one get stopped at security for bringing especially metal figures or spends? I know, smuggling them. What do you say or do in that case? The new art case seems pretty good for heavy transport, and the commercial for case is one of the funniest things I've seen lately. I'm not going to watch that. What do you do for Nova?
I was going to say, I've got a good anecdote. I've got a great anecdote. Of course, we were very lucky to be invited over to the Nova Open over in America last year. We're going again this year, it should be great fun. Represent the UK, me mainly on the drinking front, you can see. If you watch those journey vlogs.
I'll never forget them, mate, never forget them.
Great fun, great, and somehow came third. Unbelievable. But had so much fun. We all took our miniatures as hand luggage. I don't think you want to risk those being chucked about and hold at all. And ashamedly, I've got a Games Workshop carry case, and it is a bit inadequate when you compare it to some of the other things. In terms of being stopped, Tom got stopped on the way back. I'm sure it was on the way back, and had to open it all up and explain what they are, and it was hilarious.
Oh, brilliant.
It was absolutely hilarious while he stood there and trying to explain what the little pointy spear bits were, and just, absolutely outstanding. On his guard to the Galadrim core, like, no, it's not a weapon.
Definitely not a weapon.
I play toy soldiers, and it was just absolutely
And he
brilliant.
won the tournament as well, did you say that?
I'm not sure that he turned around and went, I took down the best that America had to offer, like, you know what I mean? But it was quite funny when we realised he'd been stopped, because you can all imagine being in that situation. I mean, we've all come out now, haven't we? But in terms of, you can imagine the embarrassment where you had to try and explain to somebody, what your little men were. I play with little men on the table and Lord of the Rings and stuff. So that was quite funny. But I do reckon there are some really good case companies out there now. I know Battle Foam are pretty good.
Yeah, Jamie just showed me some new ones from Steamforged. They're tiny, just like if you wanted to have, like the ones you can carry your Blood Bowl in and stuff, just 12 like hold sheets and stuff. If you're using small forces, very very handy, very handy.
Look who it is, everyone!
My friend.
Look who it is! It's Bilbo Baggins. How's it going, Mister? Now you guys haven't seen Bilbo Baggins on the channel for some time, but here he is. Fresh from his haircut. You met Bilbo before, haven't you?
No, not till today. Not till
he likes you.
Hello, Mister.
Hello. Say hello to Harry.
Trying for the kisses.
Bilbo is also an honorary channel host.
Always.
And you both same shoe. Get down.
Sorry.
I think the one from Steamforged is officially in partner with Battlefront.
Right.
I believe it's been made for them by them. I think so. Definitely worth going and checking those out. So thanks for that, matey. Next up, we've got Pete Slynn. He's put, good to see that interest in the re-releases is so high that the Kingdoms of Men book has already sold out. That was always going to happen.
I thought 3 peoples before Kings of Men. But still, it's great. It's great news, isn't it?
It's great. Are you a Kingdoms of Men or a Free People's lover?
Free Peoples, I think.
Free People's.
Hobbit
They are both my favourite. They're my favourite.
Definitely so. There's the 2.
My favourite. Are you good or evil?
Always good.
Me too.
Cool, but always good. Yeah.
Me too. We've got a lot of. We should do this again, Harry.
Yes,
We've got
we
loads in common. Let's do this again. So, Bilbo, would you like Harry to come and do it again? Yeah, he said yes. I think it's brilliant that it's sold out. But I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry too much. You still probably don't need to go and try and buy them off eBay or anything. I would imagine that will be released.
For sure. They might have even done like a preliminary amount to see how quick they'd sell, and maybe thinking, oh wow, they've sold fast, and maybe we need to get loads more done.
All going to be a little bit of a taster, isn't it? All going to be a bit of a taster. And you've also put, do you know of any upcoming events nearish Bristol? Well, I think the nearest Bristol event is the one that is in Cardiff, but I think that Cardiff's already been this year, which is Into the West.
The finals at Cardiff as well, isn't it?
Oh, it's the final at Cardiff?
Yeah.
God, I'm behind. So there you go. The league final is at Cardiff. But I do recommend being willing to sort of travel a couple of hours and get around to the various tournaments. That is definitely sort of one of the big ways that the Great British Hockey League started. Bilbo, you've done this before. You've done this before. Can you remember when you ruined the Knights of Doamoth video? Can you remember that? I do. Leave his drink alone. The Great British Hockey League really managed to get going because people ended up being willing to travel sort of that extra hour than they normally would to get the game. So Cardiff's probably the closest one to you. But after that, probably get yourself travelling. Get onto the Great British Hockey League Facebook page because all the tournament information is there. So cheers for that, Pete Slynn. Next up, we've got Samuel Roberts.
Hi guys, I'm watching a video on Mirkwood Heroes and Warriors. Your videos? I am a Dwarf Warrior user, I know, because I have been looking at Wood Elves. As anyone you know ran with Legolas and Thranduil pair using Thranduil's 2+ with the army of throwing daggers. Oh, I never thought of throwing daggers. I know for the 2+ was shooting, I always take 4 bowmen with 2+ shooting. With his, so that's 5 shots on 2s, or even 5 shots on 3s when they move. It's quite handy. And when you don't take it, you notice then you'll be hitting on 2s and you've not got the upgrade. I was thinking win priority, charging, hitting on 3+ with move penalty on strength 3, so wounding most on a 5 or a 6. I know there is a cost to consider, but unlike Iron Guard, throwing axes hitting on 5+ when charging, the elves might have some success. Also, 2+ bow fire until contact. So until contact 2. Sorry for an essay, Sam.
Don't apologise.
Yep.
Don't apologise. That's a great question.
I think the 2+ shooting can be really, really handy. This if you've got even if you've got 4 guys that stay in a corner with Lemay, Legolas or Thanos, and knowing they can just shoot for the game and just on 2+, even if they're picking heroes off and stuff, they're most likely going to find the mark, aren't they?
Yeah, there are definitely 2 camps when it comes to Wood Elves and this particular upgrade, and whether it's worthwhile or not. Because of course, the moment that you start taking up this upgrade, then you are going to be hitting your numbers, especially as you start going up and up in points. You're going to, and it's then looking at going, well, is it worth having the extra 3 or 4 bodies? You know, for not just for those extra shots, but then what you can do in combat. So let's look at some of the strengths of a Wood Elf army, and it's the ability to field a relatively cheap high number army because of the loads of medium cost heroes that are very, very good and cheap, and therefore being able to take a lot of fight 5 shoot value 3 troops. The moment you start adding to the cost of the basic Wood Elf, you start hindering one of the strengths of that army, which is its numbers, its ability to hoard out at great fight value and great shoot value. So yes, you might be hitting a little bit more, but you are going to lose those numbers. Now if you then start adding the throwing knives as well, then you've massively negated
you have, haven't you?
You know, your main strength. All of a sudden you're going from basically 7 points.
7, yeah, you
7, so it goes up to 8, then going up to 10.
We said 2 and 2 in it, 2 for the 2+ value and 2 for the throw weapon, so 11. But 11
2 for the 2+ shoot value?
Yeah.
11. So at that point, I think that doing both, probably not. And I mean, if you're in range to throw throwing daggers as a Wood Elf in the current meta when there's so many monsters around,
you're too close.
I think that you're too close. You know. And even if you had that as your game plan and it did help you kill that one model, it's probably not going to be worth not having those extra models that you would have by not doing that.
I'd rather go for a 4 of, say, elite archers and then go for spam troops.
Yeah, that would be my contribution towards that. But thank you very much for your suggestion, Samuel. Next up we've got Sean Shaw 100. He's put, what advice do you have for a dwarf army? And do you think that Hobbit era dwarf armies are better than Lord of the Rings era dwarf armies? So, any advice for a dwarf? General advice, because I'm guessing he's covering.
Dwarf one's better than Lord of the Rings dwarf one. I always love the Castle Guard. It was a trick because the way with old dwarves is you had to learn how to use an army without supports. I think supports are one of the most crucial things, especially with the old rules. The armies used to be front line, back line, and then with dwarves they always struggled because they didn't have anyone to support them, even though they had tough defence and good fight value and stuff like that. I think they struggled, whereas now you can support them a bit more with the Warriors of Erebor. So I think they're different in a way, and then obviously we're going to have a third different one, I think, with the Iron Hills dwarves. But that's the thing with dwarves, there's loads of choice, and there's loads of heroes to go with them.
I think advice for a dwarf army is, obviously, what are the advantages for a dwarf? Your advantages is the ability to go defense 7, so that even strength 4 heroes and strength 4 troops are going to need 6s to get you. So really, a good dwarf army will allow itself to get into the grind. I'd say try and keep everything together as much as possible. You don't want to be getting split up and isolated, because your troops aren't cheap. They're not really expensive, but they're not cheap. So therefore, you might be outnumbered. So you've got to keep that in mind. Banners can be really handy for dwarves in that situation.
Yeah, massively so.
You know, don't be afraid to shield, so that you can gang up in other areas of the line. That's always a good idea when you've got small sort of shield wall based armies like that. So those are little things to think about generally as a dwarf. Do you think that the new Hobbit era stuff for dwarves is better than the old Dwarven list?
See, piercing striking dwarves now is very handy. Even though they risk the defence you can have, I think having piercing striking axes can be really helpful. So there used to be the thing of, I've got strength 4 me, well, if I'm playing a defence 7, it's pretty pointless because I'm still needing 6s. The bringing in there and that piercing strike to go up yourself does really help. So I don't know, to be fair. I've always wanted to run a dwarf army, but I've never really had the courage because I think they're quite hard to play with.
Yeah, I think that the old dwarf list is quite an expanded list, isn't it? You've got lots of nice little options, you know, and generally it was thought of not being, you know, being quite a forgiving army that never could do quite enough to stretch. And then of course when the Hobbit stuff came out, you started seeing a combination of the two, because the dwarves suddenly, as you mentioned before, had that ability to support, which they never had previously. And of course some of the Hobbit era heroes are very good as well. Thorry is great.
So good.
That was great.
You can mount them all as well.
The fact that you can mount them, which then negates another one of the issues that the dwarves have. So a combination of the two works quite well. I think that probably the old dwarf list is still got something on the new one, mainly because of the number of options.
Yeah, exactly. But who knows with the Iron Hills dwarves and the Battle Flag army releases, they will balance out. What do you think to dwarf shooting?
It's a tough decision to take, isn't it?
It is.
It's a tough decision to take. Do you do you just accept the fact that you are probably just wanting to get into combat?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I don't want to. You're not going to have the biggest army anyway because you're paying 10, 11 points per model.
But then if you don't take the bows, then you risk against highly manoeuvrable armies.
Yeah.
You know, like Rivendell Knights and even Rohan to
Oh,
a degree. That ability to just pick up one, even if it's every 3 or 4 turns, the fact you'll never catch them.
Yeah.
You'll never ever catch them, and having a bit of bow fire and retaliation can help with that. You know, more interestingly sometimes is the argument as, do you take dwarf rangers or do you take dwarves with bow?
Oh, this is, I think something they maybe need to look at, because dwarf rangers aren't used much, and it's 3 point for a longbow at strength 2. I think is, I don't think there's something not right there. I think it should be a 2 point for the bow, and if it's a strength 2, or make it a strength 3 bow for 3 points.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for having a strength 3, even if it's only an 18-inch shot, which I believe the dwarf bow is.
Yeah.
But also, again, having a high defence. There's a lot to be said for
massively
that.
so.
Yeah, so most things, well, nearly everything's going to need 6s to wound you. Apart from Murokai.
Yeah.
Crossbows.
Crossbows.
So there you go. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you take dwarves with bows? Do you take dwarf rangers, or do you not take any dwarves at all when you take a dwarven army? Interesting to hear what you guys think.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that, Sean Shaw. So we got Callum Clapperton.
Oh, this is one of my good buddies from home.
Oh, hello.
Good. It's his first time commenting, so what does he have to do, James?
Oh God, normally I tell him, you're quite good at this host stuff, aren't you? You really put me on the spot there. Well, it means that if we satisfactorily answer your question, you've got to ask a question not just next week, but the week after that, and a week after that. Because you're stuck in the loop.
And I know where you live, Callum Clapperton, so I'll come for you otherwise, buddy.
Brilliant.
Okay, good work, guys. Great seeing Harry on this. My question for next week goes to Jamie, James and Harry, I suppose. If you were only allowed to choose one army to play with for the rest of your playing days, what would it be and why? Good question.
So easy. Rohan. That's so easy. What about you?
Hobbits. I think hobbits.
And why?
Oh, because you can have quite a range of them. Even if you just go pure hobbits, you've got shooting, you've got some nice little cool cheap heroes that can have fun on ponies. You've got some cool special rules like the Belia. You've got a lot of range of weapons with piercing strike and stuff like that. You've got sheriffs who can stun. I know I've run hobbits now since Redos at the end of last year, and I have the most fun with them. It's hard to write any other list because I just think, oh, I want to use my hobbits.
That's the key point that Harry said, and you can tell when you play against him, whether it's in a battle report or otherwise, you can tell that Harry has a tremendous amount of fun when he's using his hobbits.
Too excited.
I think that no, it's great though, isn't it? Because you know that's what you want when you're playing a game, or any game really. But you know, with a strategy battle game, Middle Earth, a lot of us play it because we love Lord of the Rings, we love Middle Earth, we love the world. You want to feel that it's almost you on the battlefield. You want to have some kind of emotional attachment. So with Harry, he feels an affinity to playing with hobbits.
Little men.
Yeah, with 3'2", you know, little men with an army of Ian Marleys. You know. Sorry, Ian. Whereas myself, you know, I've got that thing for Rohan. You know, I get the same kind of feeling. I have fun with the play style. It feels like you are on a knife edge the whole time. But I love the models. I love the fluff. They're my favourite faction in the books. You know, and a big part of that is the big throwback to Anglo-Saxon and Norse kind of mythology and culture and lifestyle and those things. So that is an easy one for me. Definitely the Rohan.
Cool, and he's got one put just to add: Space Hulk tournament between hosts would be cool to watch. Cheers, Callum. Yes, he would. Well, as considering you've got it and Jamie's got it, that's something that's quite.
Has Jamie got it as well? Oh
yeah, Jamie's got it.
We can do, this is the thing. You can. Maybe I should just get them painted up. I've not had any hobby time. I've not really had much time to make videos, meet up with people, to paint. I've been working really hard on my business. I would love to just get some time to sit down and paint some stuff again. You know,
it would be cool.
It's a big part of the hobby, isn't it? But yeah, Space Hulk maybe coming soon to a channel near you. Ooh, maybe. Next up we got Cobbs 1991. When do you think is the best size force to include a drum in a Moria force? I had one in a 400-point Fender game and a truck cave troll, which was helpful in re-rolling duels, but didn't really affect courage rolls when my tiny force was taken below half.
Say, the drum's 100 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Straight away, you score your force at 400 points. Hey,
What are you doing?
Hey, it's nothing in there, so...
What are you doing? Get
Cheeky.
down, you. Bed. What do you reckon? 100 points.
700. But then even then, at the risk of that, you've got... If you're playing 700 points against someone, they're probably going to have something to take your drum out.
Yeah, of course.
Like necklace or something.
You've got to think, in a game of target priorities, that's 100 points that's not particularly tough to take out.
Yeah.
So...
But apparently, I only found out last week, if you shoot one of the two, is void, you can't use it.
Yeah. Can't even come and pick it back up.
It's no good. And I admit the rules are awesome for it, but it's just, you take one guy.
What are the rules for these?
Is it a James Darcy? Is it Battlefield Banner? Yeah.
Battlefield
Plus one
banner.
courage to your army, -1 to your opponents.
Oh, really?
Cool rules.
Yeah, really, really cool rules. Very cool. Very different. Be good if it had some kind of synergy with the Balrog as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, imagine that, some of the barrows.
That'd be really cool. As long as the drum's on there or something, or I don't know, you'll get Fury or something along those lines. That'd be really great. So yeah, cheers for that, Cobbs. We're not fans of the drum, but cool rules. Maybe too many points.
Yeah, try stuff out. Let us know, maybe.
So next up.
Okay, this is the Dr. Pepper machine. Gotta love Dr. Pepper. Can a front line of berserkers be supported by 2 pikes behind them? Yes, they can, which is a filthy pike block.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
4 attack, strength 4, 5/4.
Yeah.
You could even, with 4 dice, you could even probably go 200 Fagin with your berserker at the front, knowing you've got your 2 dice without.
You can certainly risk it, couldn't you? And that's a good. You can do it. It's an expensive collection of 3 models.
It is.
And your berserker doesn't necessarily need that,
No,
but no, you can do that. It'd be pretty tough to take down if you've got a block of that.
Oh yeah. You could put a banner and a chain next to it as well. What a pipe block that'd be. That'd give the Iron Hills Drawers a run for the money, I think.
That's one of the toughest armies that my right hand ever had to deal with, was Kieran Street just bringing a normal kind of pike block Urukai army,
yeah,
but with the shaman in the middle, the captain in the middle, and just everything, banner in the middle, just couldn't get at it. It was very, very tough to take down.
It's one of the most frustrating things as a cavalry player as well, I think, to play that, because you're charging. Oh, you've got high fight and you've got more dice.
Even with your Sons of Ale, you're rolling 3 on the 3. They've got 3.
Yeah.
3.
But they kill you on a 5. Yeah, when they've got 3 dice, they're averagely going to kill you. It's horrible.
Exactly, it's pretty brutal. Thanks for that, Dr. Pepper Machine. Next up, we've got Wang11. He's put, "Hi guys, sorry I didn't ask a question last week. Well, make sure you ask one next week, buddy. I have a couple of questions this week though. My first question is, can you take models like Sons of Ale on foot, or do you have to start off with them on a horse?"
Good question.
You have to start off with them on a horse because it comes as war gear.
Okay.
The horse isn't an option. It's the profile.
Is that the same with Bull Roarer Tuck? Because I've only got him on foot, but yeah, I think he automatically starts mounting, so I think it'll probably be the same.
I think it'll probably be the same, yeah.
Even if you're only going to put yourself as a disadvantage to put him on foot.
I guess what you could do is, like, first turn you could say that you've dismounted.
Yeah, sure.
I guess you could do that, but because that's the profile, and the profile comes with the horse, technically you couldn't start with them on foot, and I'm not sure why you would want to.
Well, that's it. Unless it's for a real funny reason, definitely mount them. Yeah,
you don't want a 22 point from. I mean, they're pretty good on foot, but for 22 points, no. My next question is, what do you think of Halbrad? I've been thinking about making an all-mounted Ranger of the North army with Halbrad as my leader mounted. Cool. Do you think he is strong enough, or do you think I should add in someone like Aragorn? Thanks guys, and keep up the good work. Halbrad's fun. You have to take the Grey Company army. Halbrad is cool.
It's cheap for 3 points a might. I think it's 65 points base. 3 might. Shoot and attack as well.
3-2-1.
He's fight by 5 as well.
Fight 5, yeah. He's got 3-2-1. 2 wounds, defense 5.
That's the thing about him being your general.
Defense 5, yeah. I mean, I think if you're playing in under 500 points or under, then you could possibly get away with that.
Yeah.
When you start going more, then yeah, bringing in Aragorn. But then remember, that's going to eat away your numbers. But numbers not necessarily going to be a thing if you're going for all-mounted Ranger of the North.
Yeah, you're going to be moving, shooting, and then when you've got numbers on your side, hit that charge heavy, get loads of heroic combats done.
Exactly. So at that point, when you start getting to bigger points cost, or just immediately start thinking, right, well, Aragorn is coming in on here, but then Aragorn in that list, they're independent heroes, so it doesn't matter. I was going to say Aragorn in that list couldn't lead anyway because he couldn't go on a horse, so you'd have to take a Strider, but because they're independent heroes, you could do it that way.
Yeah.
The twins are good options.
That's
as
the
well.
thing. I was thinking alternative. I'll take halberd and the twins. Still have halberd as your general because I don't try to trust a twin as a general because one dies, the other one's in trouble. But then means that those two can go and do smashy, and halberd can stay at the back more and preserve that might.
Yeah, he can stay back and sort of almost give his might for the inevitable as a cavalry army heroic move-offs after you've already got the charge and the following turn. Yeah. So that's a good way to use halberd. Halberd's cool and the model's cool as well.
Yes, and I've seen a few. I've done the conversion myself. I've seen some recently that people have put up a mounted halberd. Cool. But then I know we're talking about models to be released. I would very much like that model to come out.
Yeah, me too. One of my favourite characters in the books.
Yeah.
Spoilers alert. Anyway. Next question and our final question for this Speak Friendly question.
Just in time. So, the Commander Kaiser. Hi guys. I asked the question last week about fluff and theme versus competitive army builds. Only asking because for Ardacon I have an idea to do a themed Rohan force around the ride to Helm's Deep. So it would be unarmoured Théoden, Gamling, Royal Guard, maybe Hammer, Riders, etc. And if points allowed, perhaps mounted Aragon or mounted Legolas, the one with Gimli for extra theme. Cool. On the one hand, I know I'd be shooting myself in the foot ignoring all the big Rohan heroes, but on the other hand I think it's really cool. I perhaps worry I'd take an army like this and just be a punching bag for the whole weekend. Makes me think I'd be better off going for something else.
Do you know what one of the wonderful things about strategy battle game is?
You can take whatever you like and have fun with it.
Certainly can. Almost. You weren't a million miles away. One of the wonderful things about strategy battle game is that you can take stuff which is fluffy, your favourite stuff from the movies, and you can still win games. You know, and it's a testament to the system. But if you get a reasonably experienced player or someone who's quite good at the game, they could take along something which would be themey and fluffy and not necessarily considered competitive or filthy in any kind of way, and will generally beat, on the whole, somebody who, you know, hasn't been playing a very long game for very long, but has brought something which is more competitive. So that's quite nice. So I mean, and I would always say, you know, bring the stuff that you want and you want to play with, that you're going to feel an affinity to on the battlefield, because that's going to make a huge difference. Not just your playing experience, but the playing experience of your opponents as well.
Exactly.
And in terms of feeling like you're a punching bag for the whole event, well, the event is Swiss ranked, which means that even if you lost, you know, the first couple of games, you do end up playing against people who are playing either at a similar level to you or a similar kind of idea to you in the sense that, you know, they've just gone there to bring fluffy stuff.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, if you're going there to be competitive, yeah, it might not be the most optimised build, but it doesn't sound like you're that guy.
Yeah, it sounds fun to use, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think I talked about it last week, saying it tends to, after the first few games in Swiss ranking, you tend to have your competitive armies playing your competitive armies at the top, and then you'd say your fluffy, more themeless that aren't necessarily there going there to win all the game, play at the bottom. So there's not always that imbalance. So I think you often find you're having games that you maybe more evenly matched and enjoy it that way. Don't feel that you're being pressured that your army might not do well.
Yeah, exactly.
Have fun with it.
I would absolutely agree with Harry on that one. And wow, that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Speak Friendly Question. And it's been our first one together.
Yeah, it's very good.
Hopefully not the last one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it, Bill Bunn. You enjoyed it?
Always loved it, hasn't he?
He's looking up at that chandelier thinking, don't put me anywhere near that. Don't put me anywhere near that. He's scared of everything, this one.
Chandelier in the Mines of Moria, James. Got it there.
Yeah. I had the guys in last week do a bit of renovating. Can you not tell? Spent a fortune on it. So you guys know what to do. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support the Hobbit House and the links below.
Yeah, make sure you keep supporting your Hobbit hobby.
Oh, and happy strategy battle game.